In this video, I want to show what I've been working on last week. And in one sentence, I'm trying to build something like storybooks, but for AI agents. And I think I'm on a good track. I mean, not on a good track. I think I've completely finished it. Maybe with a small tweaks here and there. But as I was working on it, I introduced several new terminologies and several things that you need to know to be effective with using it. So this is the point of this video, to show you what is new and to introduce you to this new terminology that we have in the application. The title is like an research and development infrastructure for agents. So the basic idea is that you can go, our team, the development team, can go into Operately and create a new agent and give it some, prompts. And based on those prompts, the agent can do some various actions in Operately. But let's be more concrete what an agent is. So an agent is just a user. So we are creating a regular user inside of a company. And this user can execute automated actions based on its internal conversation with an LLM provider. So because it's a user has a name and a role. So in this case, it's, let's say, called Alfred Iverson because it's AI. And let's say that it's a chief operating officer. And every agent has a set of instructions. These instructions are so far fixed, but you can modify any of them. So it has a set of responsibilities that it should do. This should be the main prompt. This should be the background of how it should act, how it should communicate, what it should track, various other actions. Then the next instruction that it has is how to prepare its day. So an agent, let's say, wakes up every morning at 9 o'clock and plans out its day and its course of action. And when it is planning out its days, it is creating tasks internally in its own memory that it will later execute one by one in let's say, the task execution phase. So those are the instructions. Apart from the instructions, an agent has access to various tools. The tools can be, you can think of a tool like a bridge between that fuzzy AI world and the concrete function call in our system. So these tools are based on our API. And we have things like give me all the items from the work map, or record the task that I want to do today, or describe a goal, or post a message on a goal, or describe a project, post a message, create a report. Later down the line, we can say, create a comment somewhere. So these are the tools. And because they are based on our API and because the agent itself is a user, that implies the security restrictions are literally the same as for any other person. If you invite the agent into some space, it has access to all the goals and projects. If you don't invite it, it will not see it. So we kind of get that security restrictions for free, which also means that Alfred is not able to take context from one company and inject it into some completely other company. So it is very restricted to the environment in which it is. So that is the agent. Hopefully that's a clear thing, because I think many other tools are using similar strategies to implement their agents. So the next thing that might we need to discuss about is what it means to run an agent. So an agent run is basically, think of it like kicking off an execution chain where it has like specific a start, it has an end, and it has several phases in it. So when we say that we are running an agent, it means that we are kicking off its planning phase. In the planning phase, it will create tasks. And when the planning phase is done, it will start to do the execution phase. And in the execution phase, based on the tasks that he created, he will do one by one execution of those tasks. And finally, it's like a completed run for the agent. Each run, apart from having access to all those tools and everything, has an internal log. So we can always open that sandbox for, not sandbox, but that storybook environment that we have and look at the logs in the application. Like, okay, I was recording these 3 tasks, and then I took this task and took this action and wanted to post this specific message. And basically we can play around with the agent and with the prompts and the instructions to make it better and better in our company. 2 more things to mention. One is like the sandbox mode. The sandbox mode of a run means that the agent has access to tools, for example, to read out information from the company. But when it wants to execute an action like post a message, it will think that it succeeded. It will log what it wants to do, but it will not log it actually to the it will not post that message actually to project or goal. So the reason why I introduced this is I want to be able to run our agents in a real environment and to see real responses and real actions it would take. For example, we could run it in the context of the self-organization, where we have very interesting data sets, and we can look into how it works. Of course, we need to get some compliance permissions to do that. But as we are playing around, I don't want us to just spam everyone in the company. I want it to run in a sandbox mode. Us developers can look at how it behaves and what it wanted to do. And then if it's like everything is good, we can check off that it's no longer in the sandbox mode and now these actions are live. Finally, like the details part. On the details part, it's you can check off it's like, do you want to run this agent daily? Daily means that every morning at 9 a.m. It will schedule a run. And it will run periodically, but you can always go to that storybook and just run it when you want it on demand. Now, hopefully the high levels are clear. I want to maybe go into a bit more details just to make sure that we understand how it behaves, because if we want to write good instructions, I think that we need to intuitively understand how this works. So basically, when you start to run, it goes into the planning phase. It will take 2 instruction sets. So it will take the responsibilities and the planning instructions, combined with some tools, and then communicate with, in our case, Claude, and save various tasks into the system. So it only records tasks. It does not take any action. It just says, okay, I need to review these 5 goals today, and then it stops. Then when this is done, it will kick off again a separate background process to start the execution phase. And this is a bit complicated, but basically it will run until there are tasks left. So at any point it will take one task, take the responsibilities, take the task instruction, task execution instruction. So this is the 3rd instruction set. Combine it with various tools, and then communicate with OpenAI or Claude to basically make changes in our system. When it finishes, it schedules another run. And then basically it goes in a circle and a circle until all the tasks are processed, and then the run is completed. So why are these things so separated? First of all, there are like technical limitations about running some things for a very long time in one process. So I definitely wanted to break it down into like small steps, like do the planning stuff, and then shut down and then kick off the next set of work. And then again, don't do all the work at once, but do this like specific thing that should be fast, and then do the next task and the next task. But all of those tasks are running in independent processes. So that is on the processing side. But it turns out that this has a very good benefit about the context management side as well, because while I was testing, I definitely noticed that it can get, this agent runner can get very like too eager to do some weird stuff, and it goes in a loop and it just does not finish, because, for example, yesterday it was reading that scale up the company, that was the goal, and then it decided that he wants to hire 10 people, so based on the 10 people, it wanted to write job ads, and it went into some weird cycle. But if I limit what it does with like specific tasks, the chance of the LLM going into some weird loops is much less. So lots of talk, but let's see it in action. So I'm already on this screen, but I will go from the scratch. So on the home screen, in any company, you can go to the company admin page, manage AI agent. Of course, this is hidden behind the feature flag. You can add a new agent to experiment with that, but we'll click on an existing agent. And on this page, you can see all of the stuff that I described. So you can edit the responsibilities. This is like one set of instructions. You can edit how it creates specific tasks for the day, and you can edit how it executes those tasks. And of course, the sandbox mode and run daily mode and so on. So once you have edited this, and as you can see, you have lots of control over this. It's not hard coded into the system. You can go and change completely this. Like, hopefully with this system, we can create not only an operating officer, but any kind of agent, hopefully. Maybe we'll see what are the actual limits of this, because as you can see, my prompts are fairly short, and they should be probably more sophisticated to do some actual stuff. But then let's run it. So based on these instructions, I'm running the agent. It will open, let me reduce the size of the page. So it is starting to do the work. So it started to plan. Then maybe I can extend this. So it did three things. So first it read the goal map, then added this task, added this task, added this task, and then commented about something. I don't know what it is. And then it finished the planning phase. So that now the planning phase is done. And I'm starting to run tasks, and I'm running the first task. So I'm running the review goal tasks. And it says that I'm reviewing this. It is getting the goal details, posting the goal message, and we can see what the message is. So we can verify here, and because we are running in a sandbox mode, what the actual message is. So it says there is no clear explanation of what needs to be accomplished and why. I would say this is a good feedback. There is no deadline. There is no champion. There is no reviewer. Like, please update this. Okay, let's go to the next task, what it did. Again, very similar stuff. The third task, again, very similar stuff. This is using the tools and then executing this. Finally, it leaves us some message and concludes with Like there is no more task to be executed. I would say this is it. This was a, let's say, 15-minute video. I think what we have here is quite impressive. I already see some modifications that needs to be done, but at this moment, I don't want to go further with this. My next plan of action is to introduce project messages. So this tool can leave messages on projects as well. And then basically I want to pair program with Marco to figure out what are the limits of this system. Can we write good prompts? I think we can, because this is already, these 3 prompts that are very short, they're producing, I would say, quite remarkable messages. Of course, they need to be a bit better. Maybe you need to figure out like specifically what are the tasks, or how the system should figure out what to do during the day. And of course, there are like you can look at any other run that you have. So that's basically it.